Okay, hello out there in YouTube land. Today we're going to take a little stroll with these two guitars. This is a 1992 Les Paul Studio, and we've got a 1984 Fender Stratocaster. I used these two guitars over the years, and we're going to use for our effects processor the Ampero. Of course, we want to see if we get a good focus on that. There you go. The Ampero. Now, these are personal patches. If you can see, it's labeled P01-3. So those are your personal patches that you can monkey around with and do whatever you want to do with. So let's mount the camera and let's get started on this, okay? So we're just going to put this in here real quick. Just to hold it in place so we don't move around too much. There we go. We got a nice little spotlight there. So let's get started here. We're going to start off with the Strat since it's the one that's plugged in. And we're going to do a clean tone first so that you guys can hear the clean tone. Now, you guys all, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I use this old 1963 Gibson Falcon amp. It has the original Jensen in it still. And I purchased this Stage Right, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, Stage Right. Little 5-watt amp. It's either 5-watt or 1-watt. You only have a volume and a tone. But the kicker on this thing is it's a tube amp, and it has an extension speaker out here in the back. So when you plug a speaker into the back, this speaker gets turned off and everything goes to the cabinet, which I'm doing here right now. I've got a PV cabinet sitting here. The nice thing is that it does turn off that speaker automatically. So let's get started instead of beetling around here a little bit. And here we'll go with a clean tone first of the Strat. Now you notice everything is really quiet. I've got everything on right now, and I didn't have the volume. Now the volume of the guitar is up, and we're really quiet. So. That's treble pickup. This would be the middle pickup and the treble pickup. Okay, now this would be the middle pickup all by itself. This would be the middle pickup and the bass pickup together. Now this is just the bass pickup all by itself. Now we're going to switch. We're going to switch guitars. We're going to go from here to the Les Paul. We're not going to change anything on the Ampero. All I'm going to do right now is just unplug it. It's not really loud in here, so I'm not worried about the little pops that you get from plugging in and plugging out. So, okay, so now we got the Les Paul. And again, we're up at full volume and very, very quiet. You don't hear anything. right away, right off the bat, the difference in tonality between the two guitars. Yet we have changed nothing on the Ampero. So the voicing of your guitar is really important when you're setting up your patch. That's something I was thinking about. Now we're doing both pickups. So that's both pickups. I know my guitar playing and all that it ain't the greatest in the world, but I'm do it because I love it, you know, just like all you guys. And remember, I'm just a regular guy like you guys. I'm not out there to promote any particular brand. I'm not bashing anybody. What I want you to realize, or what I'm helping you to try to show you, is that with this piece of equipment, $400 for the Ampero. All right, this amp, well, I got to add it all up here. So this amp was $70 used off of eBay. And the only reason I bought it was because it was a tube amp, and I really like to play in stereo. So that's another kicker that I have to reiterate to you guys, is that we are running in stereo here. So we get a pretty good back and forth between the two cabinets, and I have them both kind of aimed at me so that I can hear things really well. Like I said, the kicker with this little 5-watt amp is that it's very pedal friendly, and you can run it out to an extension cabinet. And I do enjoy the fact that it turns off the speaker. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but it does turn off. It's a Celestian, but it's only a 8-inch or something, and it really doesn't sound that great. So I know what you guys are dying for. You want to hear some dirty sounds. So maybe we'll go back to the Strat for dirty first, and then we'll do like we did before. Okay, so this is the Strat on the treble pickup. Tones are all the way up. She does a great sound. Alright, so that's the Strat dirty. What we have really going on here really is we're only using a head. I'm using, I believe, the Bogner head from the Ampero, and I have no distortion pedal hooked up to this. I'm getting this from whatever's coming out of the head, and I have the EQ hooked up to it, and in the chain, and I have reverb and delay in the chain, and I do believe I have compression in the chain. Dirty on the treble pickup. Let's go to the middle position. pickup. Now we'll go, I do have a 5-way on here, but I didn't want to make you guys go through all 5 of them. So now we're on this pickup. Okay, so the noise gate, just now, I don't know if you noticed it, but the noise gate took me out on that. When I was doing the bend there. See, the noise gate took me out. So that means I may have to adjust that noise gate a little bit for this guitar. Now what you can do is copy your patch and have it set up just for the Strat, so that the noise gate may be a little bit less, because you know the humbuckers might be a little bit more of a output, power output. So let's go to the next setting, which is chorus. Treble pickup, chorus. So there, now I'm thinking that maybe these 2 pickups here are not as powerful as the DiMarzio. The DiMarzio, I believe, this is a humbucker if it's a hot rail, so there's got to be 2 coils in there. So now we've gone through clean chorus with chorus and delay, dirty with chorus and delay, and dirty without chorus and with a little delay and reverb, and with this Fender Stratocaster. Well, I want to tell you about this. I don't know if you guys can see the color. I wish you could. My lighting is bad here. I live in a town outside of Chicago, and I don't have all the professional stuff like everybody else has. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy like you, man. I want to have great guitar sound. I want to play great, and I want to learn new stuff. So yeah, the Ampero is unbelievable, man. The stuff I can do with it is just unbelievable so far. Choosing heads, there's so many heads to choose from. You can sit there, you get everything set up, like your chorus, your delay, your echo, you get that way you set up the way you like it, and you can just sit there and pop through heads and say, and then, well, of course, each head you're going to have to adjust the bass, treble, presence, and all that. So it does take a bit of work. You know, it's not like you're just going to remember all this stuff off the top of your head. Hold on a second. I'm going to get a piece of paper I think I have here. Basically what I do is I write them down. I don't know if you probably can't see that so well, but I write them down so that you got your FX1, FX2 amp cabinet, so you got the sequence right, okay? Then you got whether they're on or off. Then you got their values. This is most important. You put these values in that has what microphone, what its position was in the cabinet, what cabinet we're using, a 412, noise reduction, what noise reduction we're using, what gate we're using, what it's set at. All these values are very important to write down. Whether the trail is on and off, or whether the trail, what I can say, whether the trail is on and off. Like the echo verb, I use the echo verb. It has a lot of settings, but all I do is I write down the top row and then whatever's right after it, like 35, 13, 4, 50, and 17. Just put a comma in between, and then you know that this is how that channel is set up. I had it done a lot neater. I don't know what the heck I did with the paper though. Here's another one I did. You know, these are all I do my channels. I start writing things down. At first, if you notice, see, I started just writing little dashes in in there. I thought, okay, we just put little dashes in there, that'll be fine. But that's not good enough. You can't do that. I even did that on this one. And then I finally went to adding all the values because I was copying a patch from one to another, and actually was, you know, installing that patch, and it didn't sound right, you know, and I was like, I wonder what's going on. I got everything the same, you know, but it's the values. You got to look at all the values on all the pedals and what's in that string and what position they are in that pedal string, and then you will get the exact same tone. Like, say you want the exact same tone with chorus and delay, and but then you want the exact same tone that's pretty much a straight rhythm. You know what I mean? That's not as loud, that is maybe not as hard driven, but yet still sounds like your chorus and delay actual guitar tone, not with the adding of the chorus and delay, but with the actual guitar tone itself. That's what I'm trying to stress with you, is trying to seek that tone, take that tone, write it down, use the same amp, use those values that are appeal to you, because there's thousands of them, many of them, appeal to you, and make sure you write it down. And then when you put it in, it'll sound exactly like the patch you were copying. Another thing which is good too is they've got a patch volume level. Now you can take that patch volume level and say you got a certain, say you got all three of your first bank, or like a straight rhythm, a chorusy delayed rhythm, no clean now. Now say you're doing some hard rock, so you're not really doing that much clean, but you can use that third pedal or that third button as your lead channel. So you could set your amp up the same way, or you could choose a different amp. You could have a totally different string of effects, and in a different order. The cool part about this is that you can change the order of the pedals. All right, I digress, and I'm going a little long here, so let's put that down, and we're going to switch over to the Les Paul. Well, first we'll give you a little sample back of the Strat. That's what the Strat sounds like, dirty, with chorus, delay, echo, whatever I could put on it. Compression. Has most of my channels, or most of my patches, always have the noise gate hooked up. As you notice, we got no noise. You know, we got nothing going on. So now we're going to switch over to the Les Paul. Immediately you'll notice it's flat. A lot fatter because I had it on the rhythm pickup. So now it's on the treble pickup. A rhythm patch that I created, and it has chorus and delay and compression and a noise gate, and I pretty much used everything if I look at the computer. No, I didn't use something, but this should be the chorus, I think. Alright, so this would be like one of my straight rhythm sounds. love being able to do that. And tell me which tone you like best. I mean, that's what I would think. You know, do you like the Les Paul? Or do you like the Strat? And we'll switch quickly over to the Strat. Just 2 seconds. We'll play the same thing. Awesome, ain't it? Awesome. And you know, I'm really not super. I'm loud in here right now, but I'm not super loud. But I mean, think about it. I'm using a 5-watt amp and a 19-watt amp, and I'm getting that tone. And a lot of it is coming from the Ampero, but some of it is coming from the amps themselves. This little amp right here, I have been so impressed with. A lot of guys, I don't know, I don't think they take the time to hook it up to an extension cabinet. That is where it really shines. If you need a good, cheap, pedal-friendly practice amp for at home, and like say you want to run it out to 112 or to even to 210s or to whatever you want. This is a 115. We're running this into the 115. This is the other half of my PV Classic 50 stack that I use with the band. And I'm in a great Rush tribute band here in Chicago. We're very lucky to have what we do and what we have. We do a lot of benefits. We play a lot of free shows. I play with a guy by the name of Rob, and a guy by the name of Dean, and a guy by the name of Greg. Rob is our lead guitarist. He does all the leads. I'm just the backup guitar player. That's why, as you can see, I'm not as great a player as some of you guys. I am the keyboard player. I play all the Rush keyboards, which are not super hard, you know. And I am the vocalist. I do Getty. So I won't do it here because I just don't do it unless I'm behind a microphone. I don't understand why. I just can't do it unless I'm with the band behind the microphone. But we do a lot of benefits here in Chicago for free. We do like to get paid. I think mostly we get paid for move our gear than we do get paid for playing. So we have a lot of gear to move. So I'm the keyboard player, lead singer, and second guitar player. And then we have Rob, who plays lead guitar, Dean, who's an awesome drummer, and then we have Greg, who's an awesome bass player. And that's our band in Chicago. And the one thing I want to say is like, put your comments in, man. If you got a comment, throw it in there, man. I want to hear. If you know a place where to get more Ampero patches or import patches, it'd be great to hear from that. But you know what? You really don't need that. What you've got to do is you've got to sit down and you've got to work. Hold on. You got to sit down and you've got to work with your Ampero. You can't just decide, oh well, I'm going to use these preset patches here and see how it goes. No, you got to get in there and you got to be a guy who likes to fiddle. And I tend to be one of those guys that likes to fiddle. Also, if you notice, I got a line 6 down here. It's a transistor amp. I got it really cheap, and I needed it for a second amp, and I liked it because it was a 112, and it got a darker sound. And with these two together, and my old processor, I was getting like my bassier sound out of this and my treblier sound out of this, and the two would mix together, and it would sound really good. That was with my old processor, but I don't use it. I'm looking for a lighter. I don't use that anymore. Give me 2 seconds. I get a lighter. There's got to be one here. Yeah. Also, I wanted to bring up is if you want to buy a guitar and you want to buy a clone, buy a clone. If you want to buy a Gibson and you're a player, buy one of these. This is a fine Les Paul, man. And it's like I said, it's in 92. I've had it since like 95 or something like that. I've beaten the hell out of this guitar. I mean, unfortunately, this has been my main stage guitar for a long time. This one I took a lot with too, but I use this one primarily because, especially when we do 2112 and things like that, I love it for that. But if you want a real Gibson, buy a studio. There's nothing wrong with them. Buy a 90s. I think this is the 60s neck because it's pretty thin. Pardon me, it's pretty thin. Yeah. And please, don't subscribe to the Gibsons. Don't subscribe to those things, man. They are a blatant counterfeit, and even if you put your name on the headstock, it's no better than an Epiphone, man. You can get an Epiphone for $400 with a case. I got my Epiphone Dot about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, with a case, with a hard shell case for $400. I'll go get it. Hold on for a minute. I'll pause this.